Previously on Ninjago.
There's been a lot of racial stereotypes going on recently, and I've had to educate a couple people who were very uninformed about racial stereotypes. So that was a fun lesson and might be a whole other video in itself.
Today's subject.
Race.
Let's go.
No, not racing. Race. A person's race or racial background is described as a social category used to group people based primarily on shared physical characteristics such as skin color, facial features, hair texture, and, historically, ancestry. Now, race is very different to ethnicity, which is usually a person's country of origin. I myself am black by race and British by nationality. But you know I got that shitty beat too, right? However, the definition I provided was definitely a good look into the issue that a lot of racists have to face and will continue to face till the end of time. The main one being racism. Racism is defined as prejudice, discrimination, or unequal treatment directed at individuals or groups because of their race or the belief that some races are inherently superior or inferior to others. Now, despite that being less than descriptive, racism is a lot more than just prejudice or discrimination. I won't be going into the crazy deep lore that is slavery and any other types of craziness across history, but, you know, if you want a video of that, leave a comment and maybe I'll add it to the list. What we will talk about, however, is the problems of racism in today's world and how it's almost become a normal part of everyday life. Specifically, racism towards black people. As, you know, if you couldn't tell, I'm not equipped with the Asian intelligence, European sass, or North American aim assist, but only when it's convenient, player pack. I got the BBC, the beautiful black complexion pack. Which brings me to my first point. Stereotypes. A stereotype is a widely held but oversimplified and generalized belief about the characteristics, behavior, or attitude of a particular group of people. Now, common racial stereotypes include middle-aged Caucasian women being called Karens, Asian people being described as smarter than average, white people don't season their food, the dumb blonde trope in TVs and movies, and black people liking fried chicken and watermelon. Now, despite basically all of those being true, yes, the last one applies to me because who the fuck don't like fried chicken and watermelon, you donut? That doesn't make it any less racist to assume those things based on someone's race alone. Now, to make it a little bit more personal, some black stereotypes, other than the fried chicken and watermelon one, include not having a dad, not being able to swim, being good at sports, specifically running, and apparently being responsible for a large proportion of crimes. Oh, and also having a big Now, doing a quick count, I can say that about 4 out of 5 of those apply to me. And just a little hint, I'm not good at sports. However, despite all of that, stereotypes can be dangerous for races as they enforce dangerous and often unfair stigmas against groups that really don't deserve it. Black people often get labeled as loud, unruly, and ghetto. However, on the flip side, if we display the opposite attributes, those being controlled, soft or well-spoken, and demure, we get called whitewashed. There's no winning. And speaking of being called names, microaggressions. Now, you may be asking yourself, hey, Jazz, what the fuck is a microaggression? Well, a microaggression is best described as my best friend. I'm joking. Or am I? I guess we'll never know. The real definition, however, is subtle words, actions, or behaviors that communicate negative, dismissive, or stereotypical messages towards a person based on their membership in a particular group, often without the speaker or actor intending to cause harm. Do microaggressions make you racist? Not technically, but I would say that the best way to describe it is that all racists commit microaggressions, but not all microaggressions are committed by racists. To better explain, from my experience, people who genuinely discriminate and or are prejudiced towards other races, basically, Someone who is very blatantly and obviously racist is blatantly and obviously racist out loud. Whereas someone who is just been raised to think a certain way will sometimes say things and not even mean it in an offensive way. They're just repeating what they've heard. Again, some people genuinely believe that stuff, and over time, if you don't, remove those teachings from people, then yes, they become permanent stigmas and they become things that people are stuck with for the rest of their lives. However, for the most part, I know there is a lot of innocent people who have all of these opinions, but at the same time, it doesn't always come out the right way. Most people, as I said, are unaware of the mindset because they don't surround themselves with other races mainly. So when they get around said race, they say or do things that can end up being perceived or just straight up being a microaggression. The most common microaggression of them all, as you saw probably in the the thumbnail, it is asking to touch a black person's hair.
Is there a
Don't
chance?
ask.
Is there a chance?
No! Girl.
Why do people always ask you if they could touch your hair? Like you're a pet or something. Like it's a privilege if I allow you to touch my hair. No, you can't touch my hair. Yes, it's real. Stop asking me to touch my hair!
Coming back. May I touch your hair? You want to touch my hair? Sure.
I've never understood it. Like, why would you ask someone that? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, people, do you know how many people have asked me to touch my hair in the course of me being alive? You were never asked to touch any other race's hair, but when it comes to black people, you always want to touch our hair. Why? And it's not even just white people. It's all the races, really. Like, except Indians. I don't think, like, I've ever seen, like, anybody of our similar skin tone or complexion ask. It's really only the lighter skins that like to ask, and I'm just like, brother, no! Move, man! Anyway, a few other examples of microaggressions, for those of you, like, who are still confused. I think it best that I give some examples from my own life. Comments like how I look like Bob Marley because of my dreads, and even though it does sound like a compliment, it's really not. Like, coming from someone who doesn't understand and who's just speaking from an outside point of view, like the person committing the microaggression, they're just gonna be like, oh, I'm complimenting him, but it's like, do you know how many times I've heard that in my life? Or sorry, do you know how many times I've heard that since I got dreads? Bear in mind, as of recording this, yesterday, I was outside with my neighbor, and the boy came and spoke to me because he wanted me to play football with them lot, and Kai. And he turned around and he was like, oh, your hair's really nice. I was like, thank you very much. He's like, do you know Bob? I was like, Bob? He was like, yeah, Bob, the singer. I was like, bro, who are we talking about? And I thought for a second, and I can't remember what he said. He said something that made me realize what he was talking about. I was like, oh, Bob Marley. He's like, yeah, you look just like him. I was like, yeah. I was like, people have said. I was like, so I've been told. Again, he's sweet. He didn't know any better though. But like, stuff like that wasn't coming from a place of hatred. That wasn't racism. Was it a microaggression? Yes. Was it racist? Absolutely not. Is he a racist? Again, he's probably like, I don't even know how old he is. I think he's like 6 or something. I don't think he's, no, obviously not. Like, come on now. Anyway, other things are like, are you good at sports or are you good at running? Yes, I'm good at running, but no, I'm not good at sports. I like tennis. I'm a sophisticated black person. I like tennis and table tennis. Thank you very much. Again, another one being, do you know insert black person, or you look like insert black person, are you guys related? No, we are not. Why do you think that just because I'm black and the other person is black that we automatically know each other? And I'm not even trolling when I say this. I have been asked if it's big. Yes, I'm not joking. I wish I was. By a grown woman, mind you, by the way. I was asked by a grown woman, is it big? Oh, I love my life. Despite everything that I've mentioned so far, there's still like an insane amount of struggle that comes with race, hence, you know, the infinite void part of the title. And again, if you guys want a part 2 where I cover more like in-depth like the black experience, then, you know, let me know in the comments and we can talk about that. I can talk about just like my experience growing up black and like just my experiences growing up in general, and well, you know, you guys can get a little bit of insight into my life. My advice, however, to you guys is to just be nice to people. Don't judge people by the color of their skin, but by the quality of their character, okay? Trust me, it will be better for everybody if you just did it that way. And as I've spoken so much about the negatives of racial stereotypes, I thought I'd just like throw in a couple good things, because again, like, no matter what race you are, there's good and there's bad. In fact, as a person, there's good and there's bad. There will always be good and bad. So, you know. And honestly, I'd be lying if I tried to turn around and say to you guys that I haven't like used my race to my advantage at times. Because as much as, again, black people probably don't have as much, like, you know, as much privilege as a mixed person or a white person, I can assure you, it, like, sometimes the stigma and the stereotypes work in my favor. For example, when people don't sit next to me on the bus. Does it hurt? A little bit, but for the most part, I like my personal space. I don't like people sitting next to me on the bus. So when there's an empty seat next to me and the bus is full and people will willingly walk past me, like, I'm like, hell yeah. Because again, I like my own personal space. When security people follow me around shops, as much as it makes me feel like I literally just fit the description, at the same time, I could be like, the security guards following me around could actually be protecting someone who's stealing something important. A mother trying to steal something for her child. With the security guard following me, she would be able to get away with that. Again, I'm not encouraging stealing unless it's absolutely necessary. But even then, I'm not encouraging stealing unless it's absolutely necessary. But let me say one more time, I am not encouraging stealing. When people ask me if I'm good at sports, yes, I've run throughout my life. I am very fast. I could probably beat you in a race. I have heart palpitations, but I could most definitely try at least to beat you in a race. So, you know, it's not impossible, but, you know, the chances are here or there. Anyway, I think that's enough talk about race and stereotypes for one day. This video could get a whole lot blacker, but I'm gonna keep it how it is for now. I'ma head off. I'ma grab some chicken because I'm hungry. And oh, I have some grape. I know I do have some grape KA in the fridge. So yeah, I think it's time for dinner. I've been recording for a while, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.